see who I've got here. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Oh, lovely. Loads of people. Hello, Laurie. Hello, Debbie, Matthew and Michael, Sarah and the girls. Doreen, Helen, Adriana. Hello. Sheila, Mindy, Beverly. How's the weather in Phoenix? Maybe good. No, that's all right. Don't worry about the question thing. That's okay. Hi, Cheryl. Good evening, Ken. Nice to see you. Hi, Joanne. Hello. My lovely sponsors, Beverly, Joanne, Helen. Hello. And Sarah and the girls. And, lovely Cheryl as well. Nice to see you guys. Hello. And Ken is a sponsor too. And hi, Tim, Connie, Laura of Toronto. Love it. What a royal title. 1 second, you probably don't want me wearing this, do you? Hello, Nicola and Anna, John, Kathy, Sabrina, Shireen, Andrew, Ava, Gaitan. Is that correct? Gaitan, nice to see you. Hello, Lillian. Hello, my love. Lovely to see you. Let's put some monies in my pocket, shall I? Money's in my pocket, but I just can't get no love. Let's put some money in my pocket. Then I can be equipped for the tour. Gaitan, nice, lovely. Love an original name. I too find myself with one of those. Some monies, got some Japanese monies, going to put them in my pocket so I'm ready. Got a dress I bought in Japan, so that means it's got pockets because that's one way in which Japan does respect women. So ready there. We're next to a roadside, but I want to start you off next to the Seta River. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful, Lillian. Sorry for clapping at you guys. I'm so grateful you're here. Lillian is a historian and an art fanatic and I've got to up my game. She's an academic. So I'm very excited. This is one of my best tours. And I'm really excited to have you guys here today. Heygo hasn't given it a blockbuster title, but they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're missing. It's a really special tour today, full of history, full of beauty, and full of 600 cherry blossom trees because for whatever reason, I had to cancel 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And it was because we were meant to enjoy this tour with 600 cherry blossoms. So I'm really kind of thrilled with that. So that's pretty cool. Let me have a look. Okay, the chat's a bit dodgy whenever I've got to look upwards. So it's not so good. Hi, Hannah and Lauren, Phoenix and Eli the cat, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, Pam and Eli the cat. Hello, nice to see you. Hi, Dawn. Good night. Good evening. Thank you very much for staying up late. Yeah, good vibes all around. All right, everyone, it is time to start. It only shows you there being 30 people here. I'm expecting 100 if I'm lucky, but I expect that might mean 70 or so overall. I've started next to the roadside, which doesn't really sound all that great, but we're next to a beautiful river. I'm going to get you some really nice shots to start with because why not? I'm an artist. So you might find that there's an artist's eye looking over all of the things that we gaze at today. So you should get yourself some stunning postcards, if I do say so myself, because modesty is overrated. The way I see it, if you've got a skill, then show it off within means if you can, because we should celebrate what we're good at, right? Don't ask me to do any equations or remember 2 specific dates. That way you don't have my skills there. Hello, Hannah. Thanks for your hello. Thanks for everything. Hi, Kathy, Elisa, Natasha, or Natasha. I didn't see that one. Terry and Brian, Dragon, Fluff, Heather, and Hannah. Thank you very much for helping contribute towards my bus ticket and my train ticket so far. I'll have to do the same going back as well. Not too much money. I think that's about $15 total for my travel today. An hour and a half or so for my travel of time, and then 2 hours for the tour, and about just under 1,000 yen for so just about $8 I think for the ticket in. So let's enjoy that. Let's enjoy these gents working harder than when we want to work right now. And look, fluffy little clouds everywhere. Hello, Dragon Fluff Heather. I keep getting so upset. I keep trying to find Dragon Fluff Heather on social media, and I type in DRA. And I'm like, where is she? Where is she? Has she deleted me? Yeah, they were rowing in the background there. Hi, Mindy. Nice to see you. Hello, lovely Danette. Another honorary sponsor, Danette, there, because Danette purchases all of my artwork from Etsy. So thank you very much. Now I'll find you. So we're going to have a little bit of a Hanami experience. That means cherry blossom viewing experience on this tour today, because it's a very fortunate time of this season. It's the time of the season. The Zombies being one of my favorite bands. Psychedelic 60s goodness. I actually saw them live on my birthday 4 years ago, and they still have all the energy. So we are right next to the Seta River. This river is also called the Yodo River, and it was used a lot in the middle of the 19th century. There's a female team, a women team over in the background. Thank you so much, Nastasha. That's very, very kind of you. Look at them. That's more energy than I've got. It might sound like I've got a lot of energy, but I'm faking it. We've got to fake it till we make it. I've never seen anyone in this lovely boat. If you carry on all the way in this direction, you'll get towards the train station. You can walk for about 20 fast-paced minutes on Kendall legs, or you can get the bus in about 8 minutes, or whichever you like, you could slowly walk in about 30 minutes. And then you would find yourself only 15 minutes away from Kyoto, which is quite wonderful. Kyoto is in Kansai, Japan. That is where we are right now. And it is one of the pinnacles of creativity and art and tradition in Japan. From the tea ceremony to calligraphy, you can find everything going on in Kyoto. So people love it in general, but a little bit further along, you'll find Osaka. And people in Osaka do not like people in Kyoto for whatever reason. It's a bit of a strange predicament, but my partner is from Osaka, and I can confirm its truth. Osaka is the dirty entertainment and food capital of Japan, especially food capital. So there's just a little juxtaposition in talents there, I think. Yeah, my 12-hour adventure in a couple of days will be fun. I'm really excited for that. I encourage everyone here to book onto that if you can. I realize you might not be able to start with it and you might not be able to finish with it, but if you can find me at some point to cheer me on throughout the day, I'd appreciate that. I'll have 4 battery packs going in my bag. The only difficult thing with that is I won't be able to have a microphone charged into my phone, so it'll just be a battery charger rather than a microphone. Thank you so much, Ken, for sharing that. Hello, KL and Kathy, Elisa, everybody. I think I just missed someone. Lauren thinks this is like Sydney versus Melbourne. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. All right, let's stay down here a little bit. So I've started outside of the temple grounds because I'm a beast for context. I love providing you a little bit of the atmosphere leading up to a place. But also we've got so many cherry blossoms to enjoy outside and inside. And I really love showing off the different kinds of shops that are outside this area. They are new-ish ones and some quite old-style looking ones. We say mise in Japanese. Mise means shop. And yeah, look at all these fluffy, fluffy trees. It's lovely. I think we're about a month away also from, let me think, wisteria season. There's a beautiful 300-year-old wisteria tree outside in this area as well. Hi, Sinead. Hi, Gregory. Fluffy Bunny. Nice to see you. Now, I'm afraid, guys, the chat jumps around in the strangest of ways since they did the update. So if you say anything at some point and you think I've missed it, do let me know. Dawn says, it's like a notorious rivalry between Sunderland and Newcastle, which goes back hundreds of years. Hello, Carol. Oh, I'm so chuffed. We say chuffed in British English. I'm chuffed to see that so many of my sponsors are in the room, and I'm honoured to have so many of you recently. Thank you very much. On behalf of all of us, what you do for me, keeping me going, I really appreciate that, so thank you. But of course, all of your attendance is greatly, greatly appreciated. So a little extra focus on cherry blossoms this time. And don't worry, we'll be away from the main road in about 5 minutes. In fact, I'm going to pick up the pace to get us away from that because it doesn't sound very good, does it? Sounds a bit tedious. Okay, got it. Ken says, to throw in a baseball reference, because it's opening day, it's like Red Sox versus Yankees. I'm going to throw in a reference for Lily because I lived in Portsmouth in the UK for 12 years. So I'm going to say it's like Portsmouth versus Southampton on footy day. It's like that. It's all like that. Right, you might be wondering why the cherry blossoms are all white. I thought they were pink. Well, actually, over here we have got some glorious pink ones as well. So let's go and take a little look at those. Am I allowed to cross? The bus is being nice, but the cars are not being nice. So I have to wait for someone to slow down for me here. The old Pompey Sutton, yeah, it's just like that. The bus is being really nice and letting me cross. But I think the cars are just being so mean. They don't care about me. Okay, we got one slowing down. Yakatta. Okay. I thought nobody was going to let me do my tour. That was a bit much. Okay. Lovely things here. We've got lanterns for days. It's really nice. There's so many wonderful things to be seen around here. So do hang tight, do settle down, get your cups of tea and everything you need ready. The tour is 2 hours long. I forgive you if you leave early, but I recommend that you don't. This here is the lovely lady Murasaki Shikibu. She is responsible for writing the first ever novel that we know today to be complete and exist in the world. So, of course, perhaps others were written before, but they don't exist for us to find now. So back in the 11th century, the beginning of the 11th century, she was responsible for creating that at this very temple that we will be entering. So I do hope that you enjoy hearing the tale of her and all about the tale of Genji Monogatari. So I look forward to telling you that. So, interesting question. Dawn says, do they not have a stop at the zebra crossing? It is not a zebra crossing as we might know it if you are from something like the UK. I think you'll also agree that depending on where you live in Europe, for example, the rules of a zebra crossing do change quite dramatically. In Japan, it is just a recommended crossing point. It does not mean any car necessarily has to stop, although in all my 3.5 years of being here in Japan, I am surprised to note that nobody let me cross just now. But I'm going to let it go. Now, I'm on a bit of a Heygo buzz, you can probably tell, because I had such a lovely string of tours yesterday. I got a little bit of money, then I got a nice amount of money, which covered a huge amount of costs, and then I got a little tiny bit more extra money, but it was enough to cover all of my costs for the day yesterday. And there's nothing quite like knowing that you haven't paid for your Heygo tours out of your own pocket. So if you came to my tours yesterday, I would like to say a big extra thank you for your attendance and your tips, and I look forward to reading lovely reviews in the future. We had a great time. We really saw some amazing stuff. And if you missed the surprise tour, it is already up on YouTube, so do take a look. It happened last minute and it was stunning. So if you want to get to know me more, definitely check out that tour. Here we have some little shrines, and there's also incense so that you can light it and you can give thanks to your ancestors and such. But inside we have little stones called jizo, and they have little bibs on them and they represent little children. So we have a lovely little garden area around here. Just off in the distance, we can see, try and get you as much context as I can. You can see a lovely lady walking her doggy, and there's a wisteria tree. We're not going to go over to the wisteria tree. Are we not? Are we? Oh, it's happening. Okay, a magnetic pull has taken me over to the wisteria. It's not blooming yet, but it's over 300 years old, and it's got a nice old wiggle on it. We do like a little wiggle. That's its trunk. I've got a unique way with words that prefers fun and playfulness rather than seriousness, but I can have a wicked bite too. Thanks for following, Sasha. I think that's got about, look, we can see a bud. I think it's got about a month until it blooms. Sometime in May, I think is the official time, but everything's a bit early this year. And in the background, you can just see the hint of a roof over there. That is the main gate for the temple grounds. But I've got to show you this wonderful green goblin over here. That is not the name of a British ale. It probably is. I think it is. But I'm going to go and take you to see this lovely, lovely gent. I realise right now I've forgotten his name. I'm going by my internal knowledge right now. I've got notes and I've got notes to refer to later, and I'll have the notes from the temple. They've got everything in English for us too, so don't worry, you won't be without information. Let me have a look. Hi Sinead, nice to see you. Thank you Matthew and Michael for your tip. That's very kind of you. Tag team, lovely. Yes, you can post reviews from the email after the tour. Sometimes it says directly after the tour, or go to the My Trip section of your own Heygo page, your own Heygo account. So I love the shapes of the rocks and things in here. This mimics a little Japanese garden. This is an important character in the history of this. These temple grounds. I think he passed away 890 years ago, and he's technically a demon. We call him Aoi Oni. Oni means demon in Japanese, and Aoi means blue, but it actually means green. So he's called the green demon. In Japanese, we often use blue to refer to something that is green, including traffic lights and onions. So spring onions to me, salad onions to some of you, are known as blue onions, which means green, which means fresh or new, or nama for fresh as well. So this is the green demon. And although that sounds bad, like he doesn't deserve to have this plaque laid out for him, actually you can see from his lovely face that he's a friendly demon. So the word oni is translated as demon in Japanese to English, but actually it doesn't necessarily mean a bad soul. In this case, it means a great protector. So they actually have a festival here every third Sunday in May. I think it's May, not March. And the festival is to thank him for all of his efforts in looking after everybody. 1 second, let me pop. Okay, I'll do that in a second. For looking after everybody, and he's watching over Ishiyama Temple fondly, because he was a great supporter of the temple and beloved by everybody. There's some white Badlier just here. Alpha has very kindly said that I have a lovely accent. It is sometimes lovely, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But other times it's not at all. But thank you. Hello, Tina. And thank you, Helen. That's very kind of you. Hi, Sue. Lovely to see you. If anyone hasn't had their official Kendall hello, then do let me know. I can give it to you in a multitude of dialects and languages, being about 4 dialects and 2 languages. So let me know what you want. I'll see what I can do. I say multitude. There's no multitude. Oh. Hello, Carol. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very pleased recently. I lost some sponsors recently, but I've gained some more. So I'm very delighted to see you in the chat. I personally can see your little pink bubbles. So thank you very much, everybody. Laurie says, I love English accents. Well, I was born with this one, just about. So there you go. Interestingly, though, my family do not sound like me at all. They sound quite different. Well, let me see. Right. It's a good thing I didn't start at the temple gate, because it's not even open. It's not even open then. It is open now, though. I think it opens from 8:30. I don't think I've made a mistake there. So what I'm going to do is provide a little bit of extra context. I'm going to put a couple of pictures in the chat. So if you're watching this on Heygo, you will be able to enjoy that. So, like I said, we are next to the Seta River, and I've collected a couple of things for you. You can see that the Seta River links Lake Biwa to Kyoto, which is pretty cool. And you can see Lake Biwa. That's the largest lake in Japan, 670 square kilometers, not far off the size of Singapore, which tells you a lot about the size of Singapore as well as the size of Lake Biwa. Lake Biwa takes up 16% of Shiga, where I live. And Shiga is in Kansai, just like cities like Kobe, Osaka, and Kyoto. But people don't know about it so much. So I'm hoping that by presenting tours here in Shiga, I'm enlightening you guys and giving you a good old reason to get on the train for a few extra minutes from Kyoto if you ever come and visit this area. And you come and visit yourselves. That would be lovely. I like that. Hadrian says, you may greet me in any dialect or language. Well, ohayo gozaimasu, genki. That's good morning. How are you? But in Kansai Ben, the dialect of this area, I might say aho, which is a little bit different. Hi, Karen and Patrick. Yeah, lovely blossoms, lovely little birdies we can hear too. And we basically got it to ourselves. I can see that the temple gate is open. I'm excited for that, which is wonderful. That means I did do my homework before I set this tour. Phew! Gonna catch me off guard. She didn't even check to see if it was open. She did check. She checked. We've got white blossoms and pink blossoms. We have already caught pink blossoms earlier, so sorry everybody if you've just come in. We're going to see more though. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's going to be the most beautiful version of this tour yet. It's not a perfectly blue sky or anything. The blossoms are looking amazing. But what you can do is check out on YouTube. I've got an 8-minute, don't check it out now, because then you'll get some of the information I'm going to share with you anyway. But there's an 8-minute edited video of this area during autumn, and it just looks stunning during autumn. I also come here for the nighttime illuminations, and they just look gorgeous. Now, we're a little bit too early now, but later on, all of these little areas, excuse my hands, will open up and just become lovely little shops. Some of them serve a little matcha tea or a little green tea, which is very lovely for just 200 or 300 yen, which is not very much money at all. In British money, that's about £1.50 to £2. And in American money, that is just under the amount I said, so maybe like 180 to 260 or something, 270. And in Canadian money, it is 1-to-1. So that's nice and easy for me there. Now, this gate that we have, the main entrance gate, is in a Chinese style. So we are in Japan. I don't want you to be confused in any way. In fact, if it was Chinese, it would probably be a lot more colorful. Some of the ones in Japan are very colorful. But this one, I know it's the old Chinese style because it's got the four base legs over here and over here. It's very Japanese, especially because of the guardians at the front gate. Oh, Lillian says, these shots are coming out like a dream. Now, can you see through there? There are so many cherry trees. So, stay with me. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be really special. And I'll keep getting you some close-ups and things too. Oh, this is interesting. This has been left over, I imagine, from Girls' Day. Girls' Day happened on the 3rd of March, and I'm not going to touch this. I kind of want to, but I'm not going to, because it's little bits of it's rice crackers. But if you see these branches of weeping willows or weeping plum trees or something, in the new year, they have little bits of pounded rice in white and pink all the way along them, and that is a New Year's celebration thing. But because it was Girls' Day this month, we have evidence of that with these little rice cakes that are on here. Sorry, mochi is also a rice cake, but these ones are dry and crispy. Kendall refrains from touching. That's because it looks like things have eaten that one, Ken. I'm afraid I'm going to show you these because it's a nice postcard, but I can't tell you more about those. I will be honest if I don't have the information, but that is not part of my tour. It's just a good picture. What is part of my tour is the fact that we are in the district of Otsu. So we're just going to go all the way down to the ground. Whoop. Here we go. This is a manhole cover for Otsu. So we're on the cusp second. I think I'm just going to... Oh, the internet's back. The internet's going to go up and down a little moment. One... Hello, guys. Can you hear me again? So sorry about that. That was something that really, really annoyed me. Sorry about that. That was my fault. I did that. So don't worry. It's not an app thing yet. We don't have to freak out or anything. That was my fault. Apologies again. We're in exactly the same position. I'm going to continue like new. So here we are. We're in the district of Otsu, which is the capital of Shiga, the area that we're in. And this is a manhole cover. I'm really sorry. The internet went really low. So I thought I'll turn off the Wi-Fi so that it knows just to use my mobile data, because I don't have any Wi-Fi right now. I've only got mobile data, but my phone decided to freak out in that moment. And it's like, well, now I don't know what internet to use at all. So apologies. Apologies in advance for that one. Well, apologies in retrospect for that one. Hi, Diana and Kitsy, Natasha, Leslie, Cheryl, Heygo, you. Who's Heygo, you? That's exciting. How interesting. Lovely shots over here. I hope you'll agree. And I wonder, it looks like there might be some kind of nighttime illumination. I'm going to check this little poster over here, as well as get you a nice shot down through the middle. And then I have to tell you some very important, lovely things about this temple, these temple grounds. I just can't stop giving. It keeps on giving. It keeps on giving. Hello, Onnaka. Sorry that you're okay. You're not sure if you can come, but if you get a no-show, well, fingers crossed for a no-show. Hey, that's all right. Thank you. Let me see. Okay. Wow. Is there no illumination? Just coming to come and see the cherry blossoms. It says, that doesn't say Matsuri. Matsuri. It does. It says Sakura Matsuri. Sakura is how you say cherry blossom in Japanese. Matsuri is how you say festival. It doesn't necessarily mean that there is a direct festival happening here. It just means that there is a celebration of cherry blossoms happening. So let's enjoy those as well as the tour. Now, just before I leave this area, I want to tell you that that green demon, the Aoi Oni that we saw earlier, this is the, what would you say, precinct? This is the area outside of the temple grounds. It looks like parking, but I've never really seen it used for parking, maybe a couple of times. But just here, 5 meters tall, they set a demon. They set a tall foliage handmade demon that everybody comes and they dance around on the 3rd Sunday in, I'm pretty sure it's May. The 3rd Sunday in May, they come and dance around wearing green demon masks to celebrate. His name is, it's going to come to me. It begins with R. We're going to find it when we go inside, don't worry. To celebrate the Aoi Oni and thank him for his service looking after everybody here. But one of the other reasons that this temple is very important is because it is part of a 33 Kannon pilgrimage. Now, Kannon is the deity of compassion, and I think has different names in different cultures, especially in Chinese. She has a totally different name. And these I've got festival on the mind. These temple grounds are very, very old, from the 11th century, but all kinds of different buildings have been here for different amounts of time. So we'll learn a little bit more about those. So coming up in the tour, you're going to see the oldest pagoda in Japan that's still standing. You're also going to see the oldest wooden structure in the entirety of Shiga, which is pretty cool. It's wonderful. You're going to experience cherry blossoms, a kind of forest-like experience, and I'm going to teach you about Kannon over here. So excuse me while I read this little bit, because this area is so important. You won't really find many tourists here, and yet still they have all of the information in Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and English. Often places have a bit of English and Japanese. Usually they just have Japanese, but it depends on how important the area is. And this is very important throughout the whole area of Kansai. This is one of 33 sites that you can come to for a pilgrimage. So I'll read that to you in a second. These are the guardians. I'm lost for their names at this very moment, but I can check in a lovely book I have later. But one has its mouth open and one has its mouth closed, representing life and death. And you will often find them in red and blue, which really makes me think of player 1 and player 2. No disrespect intended. So you can find them usually red and blue at the start of temple grounds. And we know this is a temple and not a shrine because there is not a torii gate in sight. Hi, Mariette and Alba. Okay, here we are. This is a 1,300-year-old journey to the soul. So are you ready? Do you have your cups of tea ready? You're going to need that. Now, you can refer to the map that I've showed you just now to see that Lake Biwa is just here, and we are at the southern part of it. This map is a little bit, my map would usually be a bit to the side, so this one is very rudimentary. But here we have got Kyoto, we've got Osaka, Mie, Wakayama, Shiga, and Hyogo, this one, Fukui perhaps. And these are all of the sites, so Kansai here, and more, that have 33 different temples within them. 2, 4, 5 of which are in Shiga, where I live. This is the Saikoku Canon Pilgrimage. And I am going to read this, but I'm going to read it while I'll let you guys get a postcard of it here. And then I'm going to read it while I look around for you. So that you're interested at the same time, I hope. Okay, the Saikoku Canon Pilgrimage consists of 33 temples in the Kansai region that enshrine Canon Bodhivista. These temples were chosen by Enma, the king of the world of the dead. The pilgrimage route, which covers 7 prefectures, Kyoto, Osaka, Wakayama, Nara, Hyogo, Shiga, and Gifu, is Japan's oldest. It was certified as a Japanese heritage site in May 2019. In 718, Hasadera's Tokudo Shonin was almost dead due to an illness. At that time, he encountered King Enma in the underworld. Enma ordered Tokudo Shonin to create 33 sacred sites associated with canon in order to save the world's suffering people, as well as gave him 33 precious seals and an oath. This oath stated that those who visited the 33 sites would not fall into hell thanks to the merit acquired by doing so. Returning to the world, Tokudo Shonin established 33 sacred sites and worked to spread canon religious belief and practice. However, people at the time were not receptive, so he placed these 33 precious seals in a stone coffin at Nakayama Dera. Approximately 270 years later, Emperor Kazan would revive this canon pilgrimage. Emperor Kazan was Japan's 65th emperor, and after retirement, he entered the Buddhist monarch order. While engaging in training at Nachisan Seigan Toji, the god Kumano Daigogen appeared by his bedside, instructing him to revive the sacred sites established by Tokudo Shonin. The former emperor then found the 33 precious seals at Nakayama Dera. Along with Enyoji's Shoku Shonin, Nakayama Dera's Benko Shonin, and Ishikawa Dera's Butsugen Shonin, he went around to the 33 temples and spread the word about Canon Bodhivista's blessings. The compassion of Canon Bodhivista has been steadily passed down in Japanese people's hearts and minds over generations. 2018 marked the 1,300th anniversary of Tokudo Shonin and King Enma's encounter, which was the beginning of this pilgrimage route. So let's begin our pilgrimage, shall we? In we go. So if you were in a shrine, normally you would bow just here. We're not going to bow. There's no need at this point. And also, if there was a raised area just underneath this bit, we would step over it. But there is not a raised area, although I am going to step over that middle bit anyway, rather than step on it. There are a few things you can do in Japanese shrines and temples to show your appreciation and respect. Hi, Viola. Hi, Mark. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Now, we have a little point at the entranceway here that has a little frog on it. So I'm going to show you the frog. The frog actually collects money, although I don't usually see people putting money in it, and I don't usually hear them putting money in it. Here is Froggy. Frogs are usually near entranceways because the word for frog is kaeru and the word for return is kaeru. So it is in hope that you will return safely if there is a frog next to an entranceway. You can also keep frogs in your wallet or next to your own shoes and things, next to your own front door in your own house. You can give little frog toys to your children in hope that they will come home from school safely. You can do all sorts with little frogs, so consider getting frogs in your life. Thank you so much, Laura of Toronto. We've got lovely lanterns around here. If you come during autumn time, you will find that these lanterns are lit up and it does look fantastic. And all of these are Canadian maple trees along here. They're just changing from red to yellow and green. They're becoming green now. I'll get a close up on the leaves in a little while. And we have lots of different buildings around here. This one says staff only, so we won't be entering. But you can also see around most areas, excuse my fingers all the time, just pointing things out. This is a sacred rope just here. The sacred rope is a sign that something sacred and godly is on the other side. And if there are white streamers, it is also for protection. But the idea is that you will be a little bit more respectful in this area. Hence my voice lowering slightly. Lovely Japanese garden just here. It's so sweet. If you like playing video games, you probably understand why I like this area so much. It looks just like a little video game. I want to hear my video game footsteps, the sound change as I run across the different areas, but I shouldn't really run across that lovely combed gravel just there. All the maple leaves have little seeds on. I can't get you a good close-up just there. Animal Crossing landscaping dream. You just wait, Lillian. If you can hang on a little bit longer, you'll get to see yet more. Your mind will be gently blown. sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? Your mind's going to be gently blown. That's what I'm saying. Thank you all very much for being here, by the way. Now, I said that we are in the district of the capital of Shiga. So these are the lovely little cute mascots of Otsu. Otsu is only 10 minutes away from Kyoto, so it's a great way to get to see Lake Biwa, because if you get off at Otsu Station, you only actually have to walk 10 minutes in a straight line. And by the way, if you want to go around the entire Lake Biwa, if you want to go all 200 kilometers around it with me in a trains, planes, and automobiles kind of way, but on foot, by train, and with my artist hand as I draw pictures, then you'll have to come on my 12-hour tour, or at least pop in at some points. It's just coming up in 2 days. I'm very excited. I'm going to start in Kusatsu and then I'm going to go to Otsu after. So you'll have many opportunities to see the lake from the north, south, east and west. We'll even get to see shrines in the water. It's hopefully going to be a fantastic tour. It's a little bit of an experiment. We'll see how many times it cuts in and out. We'll see what happens. But ultimately I'll keep coming back. Thank you so much, Ken. Yeah, 200 kilometers all the way around Lake Biwa. And it's a 12-hour tour because I don't drive, guys. So I have to do it all with my little footsies. So I'm going to do that. Hi, Audrey. Nice to see you. And welcome to Ishiyama Dera. Now, we're also going to see a very important natural national monument called Wollastonite Rock here. It is incredible. And Lillian is mentioning landscaping dreams. And I think she's just not going to know what to do with herself. So get your sketchbook ready, Lillian. You're going to need to take some notes when you see the Wollastonite. It's not here just yet. I've got to do a bit of climbing before we get to that. But I think you'll be happy. There's a little tea house through here, and all around you can hear gentle bits of water. It's just lovely, isn't it? Really, really lovely. Thank you so much, Travelling Passion, for your tip. That's very kind of you. Now, these temple grounds, if I'm honest, if you were to come and investigate all of them, you'd probably find yourselves here for 4 hours. My tour is just 2 hours, and I've started outside. So we're about a quarter of the way through the tour right now. Every time you come on this tour with me, you will experience different views, different angles. I don't always, for example, go into that section that we just went into. And there are some areas where the signal is a little bit weaker. So if you do check out my YouTube videos, you can see I think you can see an uncut version of this tour in autumn, but you can see the edited video I've made in autumn, and it's one of my greatest prides. It's a really nicely edited and narrated video, if I do say so myself, and I feel equipped to say so because I worked hard on it. And as I think Lillian might agree, when you work hard on something, there is no shame in letting others know that you did and you're proud of it. And that is how we teach our children to be good and strong and believe in themselves. I say, as a childless soul, that's what I say. A childless soul, but a teacher. Thank you, Natasha. I'm going to get you a portrait shot just over here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, thanks, Lillian. Lillian says, I'm one of the hardest working people on the platform that she knows. 3, 2, 1. That's very kind of you to say. Just gorgeous, isn't it? These are really typical Japanese rooftops. And sometimes when the little tiles get really damaged or cannot be used anymore, then Japanese people use them for walkways and things. So they put them into the aggregate, the cement, and you can walk along them as well. So you think, what are all these lines and curves? Oh, that's my body. Oh, that's the roof tiles. And here at the end, we can see little emblems. Usually these represent the emperor or something, but this is not the emperor's crest right here. So it just belongs to the family that primarily looks after the temple. It's beautiful, isn't it? Now, if I'm going to warn you now, there's 1 or 2 points where the signal has a tendency to just be taken over by a poltergeist and it goes away. The signal does go up and down around here. It's nice and green right now for me. I'm honest about when it's gone and apologetic if it's my fault ever. But there's a lovely dragon over this way. I'm desperate to show it to you, and I will, but sometimes the signal goes. So I apologize in advance if that happens. And I hope you'll join me later on today. I've got 2 more tours. If you are in the UK, it's going to be far too late for you, I think, unless you're a dedicated follower of either my channel, Heygo, or Japan. But I will be taking you on 2 very incredible cherry blossom tours, so do consider joining me for those. I'm just going to give you a little peek inside here. There's a bit that says no entry. I'm just going to walk up to the barrier of it because there's a lovely little view. It's kind of the way out of the temple. I think I can't really show you the view from there, but I'll give you a little postcard whiz around just here. Oh, the birds are making me so happy. What lovely sounds. So this says Mikuji. We say omikuji. It says, please put 300 yen in there. So you just take one and it's a lucky charm. But I'm not going to do that today, or at least not in this particular moment. I might do it a little bit further up. We'll see. But I've got a streak of bad luck on those, so I'm a little bit careful. Now, what is this? Is this cherry blossoms or omikuji? So if you do get bad luck, you can tie it onto the tree. Sometimes there's a designated tree and it's very clear that's where you tie them. But in general, I wouldn't recommend that you tie them to trees, especially not if you can find the special stand to tie them to. The sun is high in the sky up there, poking through that gap, and in the distance just over here we can see yet more cherry blossoms looking a bit like loads of bad luck on trees, but they're not. Hi Diane. You guys have been very peaceful. Are you falling asleep? Are you okay? Are you falling asleep in a good way or in a relaxed way? Or am I boring you to death? If we've got any moss hunters, you're going to find yourself delighted by these textures, I think. It's very zen. Good. Well, let me destroy that with this little white man. So we haven't even entered... Oh, we're going to ruin our postcard. That would have been a really lovely postcard. Okay, just go up high. Never boring. Thank you. We haven't even entered the temple grounds yet. They're very nice, and they always give me an English report on what's going on. So I'll gather that too. I'm not wearing my mask right now. I feel a little bit rude, but it is attached to my arms, so I'm going to let that be. Hi, lovely Karen. Welcome. Just hired, but loving this. I'm glad. Enjoying the pleasant tour. I'm very glad. Now, here we are. You're going to get a real feeling for 2 hours isn't long enough. It is meditative, isn't it? So we're just here, as you can see, in this low resolution, typically Japanese low resolution printed poster. I don't know why they do that. I want to help them out. We're here. We have come from over by the cherry trees over there and walked all the way along up to here. As you can see, the temple grounds are outstanding. Now, I love to walk people over to this bit here. I rarely do it on my tour, though, because the signal drops like nobody's business. So if I get the chance, I will. Excuse my hands again, but I'm just going to teach you about what's going on over here, okay? We're going to see a very special pagoda. You might have already noticed something peculiar about it. It has only 2 stories, which makes it incredibly rare. It is the oldest standing pagoda in Japan. 2 stories, and it's beautiful. And from this point just here, we can have a look over the Seta River. This building just here is the oldest wooden structure in the whole of Shiga. It's very, very beautiful. You can see a lot of signs of it being old because there's like little wood mite marks and things on it too. We're not allowed in, but we are allowed up this little bit just here and in this side, and we can look out to a wonderful forest area. Which is just beautiful. Up here in the back, we'll decide where to go together, but you can also see a statue of Lady Murasaki Shikibu, which I will be telling you about. And there's a plum garden, but it's not plum season, it's cherry season. So we'll see cherry blossoms in and around as well. You're going to get some very, very Japanese style pictures, and I hope you have a wonderful time walking through the forest with me. So let's have a little look. And if I think my signal will do it today, because I tell you it's quite changeable every day, maybe I can take you to the Japanese garden. We can go and experiment with that first, perhaps, because it's really something. Okay. Ohayo gozaimasu. Otona. Onegaishimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Heygo no. Onegaishimasu. Yokatta. Arigatou gozaimasu. So here we are, really, really going into the temple grounds. But this is the building I wanted to show you from the other side, this lovely red building. A little bit rare in this area, but it looks so lovely, doesn't it? Looks like a nice little playhouse, but it's not. Everything I want to be a playhouse isn't a playhouse. Hi, Katie. Hi, April and Justin. Nice to see you. Lovely little sponsor, Karen, just snuck in at the back there. Now, what I do like to do is tell you a little bit about the symbolism and things that you can find around the Japanese temples and shrines. And these paper streamers that we see just here, I don't think I have to point. I'm going to, just in case, hand coming in again, just here, these paper streamers are to ward off evil. The world is my playhouse for sure. Now, I would love to walk you through this bit. Excuse me. And I come out there. It's quite a lot of fun. It is very small, but the signal goes bleh. So we're not going to go through there. We're not going to do that. We're looking at 100% signal right now, so let's enjoy that. Koi fish coming in, so look away if they are not your bag. A lot of people love them, but I'm scared of fish. So sorry, the grey one just scared me. But I know a lot of people find them very peaceful, so here you go. There's a lot of meat on these guys. That white one has got to be 3 foot long almost. It's very strong paper. I don't really know how they do it, Gregory. It's incredible. It's washi paper, which just means Japanese style, Japanese made paper. And it's usually made from the fibers after things like rice has finished growing. And one of my favorite things about living in Shiga is that I get to see the rice growing in all its different stages. The reflections on the water here are quite something. It's not waxed, Mariette, but I guess because it's made from plants are used to being outside, so it's fine. But I know normal paper is made from trees, right? But this, I don't know. I don't know how it lasts so long, but it is layered up a lot. But it looks like it could break very easily, and it doesn't. I don't know the meaning of the leaves, but the golden-looking rope, I like to call it golden-looking, is to announce that it's a sacred space where gods lay, where gods may be. And over here we have the area that you will wash your hands. I'm not going to wash my hands today for holding the leaflets in one hand and also holding the gimbal in the other, but usually you would lift a little ladle, and if there's no ladle, you'll just use the pouring water, and you will soak your left hand, right hand, left hand, and then touch the water to your lips. You don't drink the water, but you just touch it to your lips. And I just want to point out a really interesting little feature just over here. First of all, dragon, awesome, right? But there is a kind of guardian just behind. I'm not sure, it looks a bit like one of the gods of Buddhism, but I'm not sure which, I'm afraid. And it's not Canon, who we're here to be on a pilgrimage of. Ooh. And what I really want to show you is the bottom. I really like behind this. Now, sometimes I've got 100% signal right now, so I'm going to say I'm good. But sometimes I dip down here to show you the dragon's bottom, and it all goes Pete Tong. So here we go. That was a super British reference. So look at that. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Look, that lovely dragon bottom. 3, 2, 1. Hi, lovely Ginny. Welcome to Ishiyama Dara. And may I just say that Ishiyama Dara, it means stony mountain, and you'll see exactly why soon. Now, yes, I'm in Shiga. I'm in my beloved Shiga. Now, I want to take you up here, and that's where the main buildings are. But I'm going to try and do something special, okay? Hello, everybody, and welcome. You're almost halfway through the tour, but we've still got lots of things to see. I'm very excited to take you to see lots of national treasures, hopefully see yet more cherry blossoms. But I never normally get to take anybody to the Japanese garden that's over this way because the signal usually drops. But for whatever reason, I've got impeccable, perfect signal right now. So I'm going to roll with that and start walking you over that way. If it goes badly, well, turn back. But for now, let's just go and have a look, okay? Let's see if I can get away with it today. And we're also going to learn about the tale of Genji today. Genji Monogatari. That means the story of Genji, which was written here at this temple. I look forward to showing you the Lady Murasaki Shikibu, whose name means ceremonial purple, and she is also a character within her book. It's very, very interesting, and it's it's the oldest known complete novel that exists in society today. And it's also one of the first novels that is, as we know novels to be today, even though it was written 1,100 or so years ago. It's just incredible. It reads much like novels today, with quite a few exceptions, being that there's about 400 characters in it, and that each of the characters are not necessarily named by name. Most of them are not. Some key ones are, but generally they are named by rank in military, or they are named by the color of their clothing, or the relationship they have to someone else in the book. So how do you fancy that? That today you might be whatever your clothing is. And if you guys are sat in the nude, and some of you are all called Nude today, that's fine. Nude is a nice name. So we don't normally come this way on my tour, but the signal is looking good today. So I'm risking it for a little mochi. it's one steamy book, right? Let me show you a little picture. I've loaded up the chat with a few things. So we've got a few examples of it here. This might be how you know it, but yeah, it's a story of quite a lot of adultery and fun by this one gent who's got given the name of Genji. But I'll tell you a bit more of that as we come up to Lady Murasaki. Right, we might already be experiencing the dreaded signal dip. We'll see. Looks like we're all right for now. No, we're looking good. We're looking good. Now, usually in Japanese temple sites and other places that aren't even temples around Japan, you can experience these lovely sacred ropes around the most sacred, usually the oldest, biggest, strongest, loveliest tree of them all. It is the one that is most protected. And look, here we can see our Aoi Oni looking over and speaking. The monks speaking to the Aoi Oni, yet still. And looks just like the plaque that we saw, right? I think we'll be able to go up this way later, which is a little different to what I usually do. But as you'll know, if you come on any of my tours, I do like to provide a different view each time we come. Have you got your landscaping notebook ready, Lillian? Look at this. Isn't it lovely? All of the mossy rocks and lanterns, and in the background we can see some camellia flowers that have just fallen to the ground because it's just after the season for camellia. Now, many places in Japan, it looks like a little azalea poking up just there, but normally you see them on a bush, so I'm surprised to see them on a branch, but that's fine. You can do what you like. Lost my train of thought getting excited just then. 1 second, I'll be back with you in a minute. It's gorgeous though, isn't it? I can't stress enough how much you should be looking down, up, all around. Just flex that head when you're walking around in Japan. It's gorgeous. And I'm getting a bit excited because the signal is holding up and I've never been able to take voyages successfully over here. But it is really splendid. So I'm getting a bit excited. I'm going to try and cool it. Also, the light is starting to shine really nicely. It is now 9:30 in the morning here in Shiga, Japan. And the light is starting to shine down beautifully. So we're going to get sunbeams, which is great. Signal looking good. So I've lived in Japan for 3.5 years. I've come to this temple numerous times, but for the first 2 years of my existence in Japan, 2 or 3 years, all by the first few months, I wasn't able to come here at all because coronavirus meant that they'd closed so many temples and things to stop people from gathering in public places. Because in Japan, I just remembered the thing. In Japan, people love to celebrate the seasons changing. In particular, they really love to celebrate the different flowers growing, and they love taking pictures of themselves with the flowers. We have never been through this area before. I hope you don't mind being patient about getting to see the main temple buildings. I hope you can hang with me for the next hour and a bit. But if the signal holds up, it's getting iffy. It's already getting iffy. I really want to show you through this garden. I think I can't show you down there. I think the signal's going to go. You're going to have to check out that lovely little YouTube video. Follow me on Heygo and I'll post a specific link to it later. Sorry, got 1 bar of signal, so it's kind of saying no. It is so beautiful, but if the signal's doing, this 1 bar is holding up for now. I'm going to give you a little peek at the garden, but I think you're going to have to see. Okay, we've got 2 bars. Look at the azalea in the tree. They're all purple. They look like purple blossoms. So Ren has asked a nice question. I'm going to get to you in a moment. What I wanted to say, the thing I was remembering, is that oh my goodness, I really want to go to a festival, guys. This temple is they say it is called the Flower Temple as well, but if it's called the Flower Temple, I don't think it's necessarily a special name that dictates that it is the the Flower Temple, because so many places are. Kusatsu City, where I did my surprise tour yesterday, is also called the Flower City or the Garden City, and yet so is Moriyama, where I live. So I take it with a pinch of salt if they say, we're the Flower City, we're the Flower Temple. There are lots of spots for wisteria all the way around here. You can see, coming in from the top, you can see the wisteria trellises just there. I think there's just a lovely waterfall, but okay, signal's holding, that's good. Matsuri, yeah, I keep wanting to say Matsuri. Oh, it's green. That might mean we can go to the special location. The signal's very changeable, but I'm going to walk you over here. Just while it's green. You're not going to regret this unless the signal cuts out. Ren has said, why did you settle in Shiga? It wasn't my choice, actually. I'd never come to Japan before, not for holiday or anything, before I lived here. I just took a plunge and I knew I wanted to be here. And I settled in Shiga because I asked my friends for recommendations. You're going to be so happy in a minute. My friend said, Kendall, I think Osaka will suit you. I think Kyoto will suit you. So I put them down as my first and second choices. And for my third choice, I took a little bit of a liberty. And I said, or a small city near those cities. And so I got given Moriyama, 25 minutes from Kyoto, 25 minutes from Hikone in the other direction. And it's just lovely. I love it here. I'm just going to be quiet for a second though. This is a little shrine within the temple area. And we've never come to this section on this tour before because the signal's so iffy in between. We're just going to bow to show our respects as we walk underneath the torii gate. And the trees in here are so fantastically tall. And it's just lovely. Here we have small offerings, usually the cheapest sake. Sake is rice wine. You can leave it at a shrine because it lasts such a long time. We have little cranes here. It lasts such a long time because it's made from fermented rice. Fermented rice becomes alcohol, that is Japanese sake, or it could also be Japanese shochu, which is their version of vodka. But we're very lucky to have a little bit of signal in here. We don't usually get these postcards. Hi Lisa, John, David. 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. Okay. I'm going to walk you through a different route on the way back. I'm going to pray to the gods of signal that we're all right. Ohayou gozaimasu. So because everybody usually sticks to Kyoto and Osaka in this area, lots of people don't come to this area. We are here quite early in the morning, especially for Japanese people, because cafes and things don't open in Japan generally until 11 a.m. So it's unlikely to see too many tourists in this area. So usually they're quite surprised to see me here. But I do tours here, maybe, in the last year, I guess I came here twice at night and maybe 5 times during the year. So maybe they're quite used to seeing my little foreign face here. So I'm just going to check the map. We are switching this up big time. I don't know, hands up if you have come on this tour with me before. I think Ken might have, to come and see it during the autumn time. Ren says he's never been to Shiga. Right, we've got some little maps here, just bear with me. I'm going to take you up to see the statue of Lady Murasaki before I show you the figure of her. Just here. Okay. I want to go to here. Ren says he's been to many places in Japan but never been here. This is one of the sites of the Canon pilgrimage. I think I can go this way. And where have you guys been? Ginny and Gregory have been here before. Of course, my lovelies. And look, how fantastic does it look at night time during the autumn? It really is something else. So I can't wait to show you that soon. Let's have a look. Ex-boyfriend was Japanese. Mine too. No, I'm kidding. Mine is my fiance. And he's all well and behaving for now. Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Art Islands, Hiroshima. Art Islands. I have to do a little climb, guys. I have to do a lot of climbing, but I'm going to do some specific climbing over this way. And then I'm going to have some water at the top. So I hope you can allow such a thing. Hi, Jessica. One second. I'm going to move the mic away from my face so you don't have to listen to my panting. Sorry if the signal drops a sec. Naoshima and Tamoshima are the art islands. Amazing. We've got cherry and plum trees in the background. I'm looking for the statue. I'm pretty sure it's up there. Bear with me. I'm going to have my water break. 1 second. Thank you for your kind understanding. What have I got here? How far from home? 20 minutes on the train, 10 minutes on the bus, and a mountain. A mountain that means I'm going to take my scarf off now. Oh, 1 second, just looking for my water. I definitely packed, didn't I? Yes, I did. Excuse me. I'm going to read you a little something in a second too, while we're sat down for a minute. Okay, just for anyone who's come in part way and they're like, what's she doing? Just having water, that's boring. Thank you. Thanks, Heygo, for following me. No overnight trips. Yeah, right, Karen? Right, Karen? Apparently you guys don't want to pay for my overnight trips, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So Ishiyama is a temple of the Buddhist sect Shingon, sitting on the bank of the Seta River in the south end of Otsu City. This temple is counted as the 13th holy site in the Saikoku 33 Canon pilgrimage, the pilgrimage of 33 temples dedicated to Canon, the deity of compassion, dotted around the Saikoku Kansai region. The Reverend Robin founded this temple in 747 CE to fulfill the pious wish of Emperor Shomu in the Heian period of 794 to 1185. This temple was a famous place for Kannon devotees. The imperial as well as noble family members often visited this temple to worship Kannon, and it is popularly known as the Ishiyama Mode, pilgrimage to the Ishiyama temple. And I'll be telling you more in a bit, but the legend says that the noblewoman Murasaki Shikibu confined herself at this temple for 7 days, and observing the moon on August of 1004 CE, she conceived the concept of writing the Genji Monogatari, the oldest novel in the world that tells the tale of Genji. This scene that we'll see soon is revived as Genji no Ma, the room of Genji, at Hondo, the main hall. So we'll check that out in a bit. I'll get you to a more visually attractive area and I'll continue the story. Let's have a look. The microphone is a little bit away from me to try and save you my panting as we go up and around. I'm pretty sure I've gone the wrong way to the statue, as I often do, because I can see a sign for it quite far away. So we've got to try and get to that sign. Yes, we'll go for peacefulness. Meanwhile. Ah, here she is. Perfect. I did it. I did it by myself. Yokatta. Whew. I will be getting my breath though. Here she is, Miss Ceremonial Purple. It's not the scene we're looking for. We'll find that soon. Excuse me while I regain my breath. It's very nice to have this area to ourselves. This is often where many will come to take pictures. She is beautiful, and even in Kyoto you can find statues and information about her. Now, we've still got 50 minutes left of this tour, and I've yet to show you all of your money shots, and I've yet to tell you more about the tale of Genji. So please do hang with me to experience all of that. You can see the oldest wooden structure in Shiga, and the oldest pagoda still standing, as well as a view of the Seta River. So the legend says that while she was sitting in the room that we'll see later, in the main temple hall, she looks out at the harvest moon across the river Seta, and she imagined the beginnings of the tale of Genji. And it is just the most classic story you can have. It has been rewritten so many times, but of course with it originally being written in Japanese, it was very hard for many people to translate that, especially into something like English. So numerous times they did try to translate it, but people did very poor renditions of the translation. It wasn't until about, I think, 150 years ago that it first had its most reasonable translation. But perhaps even more difficult to most, it would have been written in a distinctly Japanese lettering. It was written on a concertina, which I'm told to Americans is better known as an accordion. So it was written on folded paper, back to back to back to back. And it would have been written in probably kana. Kana is Japanese hiragana. And you might know that in Japan in Japanese, there are 4 alphabets. We have kanji, which is derived directly from Chinese lettering. And we have hiragana and katakana, which are derived again from kanji, but they don't look anything like it. They look quite different. And the hiragana was created about 800 800 years ago is the version that we use now, but 1,100 years ago, it was created as a means of getting to speak Japanese phonetically and clearly without resorting to Chinese characters. So Japanese people and Chinese people can understand quite a lot of each other's language if it's in written form, and they can really help each other when they're practicing learning either language. However, it doesn't mean that they know how to say each other's language. We have the onyomi and the kunyomi reading. The onyomi is the original reading of a kanji, the Chinese version of the kanji. And one second, just get my breath. Whew. And the kunyomi reading is the Japanese version of it. But from the kanji, they created Japanese phonetics. So the Japanese language was around, as most languages were, long before anyone started to write things down, of course. So Japanese people already had totally different ways of saying everything. And so they derived from the kanji. They would take small parts of some of them and create a new alphabet that used to be 47 characters long and is now typically known as 46 characters long. Long? Do you say long? 46 characters in the set. And from that, again, in this modern age, we also have katakana, which is derived from kanji in exactly the same way. The katakana is the Japanese phonetic system of the 46 principal sounds, as well as some extra sounds that you can create from combining consonants and things. But when we understand in Japanese different kinds of foreign words, so we call them loan words here in Japan, in Japanese, we use katakana so that we differentiate them from anything else. And if you see any single passage in Japanese written these days, you will tend to find it be written in both, in all kanji, hiragana, and katakana. And some people might think, oh, I have to what? I have to learn how many alphabets? And it feels like a nightmare. However, if you try reading Japanese written in just that basic kana, that basic hiragana, it is so difficult to read, and you can't even tell what the words are. For example, there might be 10 or 20 words that have the same kanji, but they have a different not the same kanji. They have the same sound, but they have a different kanji. Or the other way around, depending on context, the kanji for life can be read in so many different ways. You can read it as sei, as in part of sensei, or you can read it as nama, as in part of nama biru, nama biru being fresh beer. We have some little daffodils around here. Let's go and have a look at the daffodils. So as you're reading a Japanese sentence, you'll read it with its katakana, hiragana, and kanji. And that makes it much easier to understand, even though it feels like it's a lot harder work. But it's a nice nod, I think, to the roots of the language, or the roots of the written language. A gentleman invented hiragana. We call hiragana and katakana combined kana. And he wrote it to make learning to write more accessible, which also meant that women were able to start learning to write. And hiragana is a much more feminine looking language in general. It's even recommended that if you are a lady, that when you write your name, if you're a foreign lady, even though normally we would use katakana to write our names, kendari for me, for women, you can write in hiragana because it's much more feminine. Hi, Abdul, nice to see you. So that is not the main building over there, and that is quite a new building. That is one that they use for actual ceremonies that we as the public don't get to experience. I'm going to walk down this way, and then we're going to go to the stars of the show. So I hope you're excited to see those. I'm excited to have taken you around so much of the grounds. I don't usually get to do all of that. Usually it's a little different. Thanks. Maybe I'm blushing. Ren said you explained that so perfectly. And so, isn't it fascinating that here we are, we're going to hear a little bit more about the tale of Genji. Isn't it fascinating that I think, throughout history, with it really kind of not being okay for women to be writers, and us having to create these new pen names for ourselves that, I don't know, are androgynous names, such as MissKendalJames, which, by the way, is my real name, just so that people will read our books, believe what we say, and consider us credible in any way. We had to change our names to male names, and it's still even being done today, although of course not as much. And some authors have even changed their names from their pen name, the masculine pen name, back to their feminine name, because women finally have some credibility, although the battle still reigns on. But this is not a political conversation about gender equality and how that affects all genders everywhere, although I do have a lot to say on that matter. Isn't it interesting that over 1,000 years ago, or around 1,000 years ago in the 11th century, Lady Murasaki Shikibu did not change her name, and she did write a novel, which is now the oldest on record, the oldest complete novel on record. I think that's just brilliant. Love it. And that she had such an imagination that she added over 400 characters to her novel, which I think is just fantastic. But so much so that she had to just start naming them by the colours of their clothes. Now, the truth is, as I mentioned earlier, they never had their names anyway. As in Japanese society, we usually name people, we call people whatever their family name is. And Japanese people don't have middle names. However, although Japanese people also don't have nicknames, they do have affectionate terms that they use to refer to each other. For example, I'm going to use my partner's name to explain the depth of that one. Hi, Janine. And here we are, a much more simple version of a much more modern and simple version. We have yet to go to this area. We're going to see such beautiful sights here, and we've got just the right amount of time for it. Hi, Laurie. Nice to see you. So my partner's family name is Horioka. In English, it looks like it says Horioka. And his first name is Yoshikata, which is a very, very old name. Lovely birds. His family name is Horioka. With Yoshikata being such an old style name, he's not very fond of it. He doesn't think it represents his young self. And so his nickname is derived from his family name. So we call him Ryo, and we'll always say, hi, Ryo, in the chat whenever he comes into my tours, right? But you can see his name says Yoshikata. However, I don't call him Ryo. His family don't call him Ryo. Occasionally they call him Yoshikata, and not just when he's in trouble, before you ask. But I call him Ryoken. So I also call him Poophead, which is an English style of a nickname. But when I say it's a pet name, it's a nickname, he's like, what is that? That doesn't make sense. I'm not a pet. And I say, no, a pet name is an affectionate name that we give somebody. Now, in Japanese, if you're a boy, then usually you'll have kun added to the end of your name, a suffix that affectionately means you're my friend, you're my family member. I call you your name plus kun. So I could call him Yoshikata-kun, but it takes a little while to say that, right? So I call him Ryoken. I noticed his family were calling him Ryoken. So over time, it took quite some time to get my tongue around that, Ryoken. I eventually learned to say it, and I remember the first couple of times I said it, he said, thank you. He said, thank you for calling me Ryoken. He said, Ryoken, thank you, arigato. Very sweet. We have the Seta River off in the distance over here. Hi, everybody just coming in. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, there. I was going to say Dare. 3, 2, 1. Just here. Oh, excuse me. I want to try and get you a view of the long trees. Nice. 3, 2, 1. I see I have lost some people. That is a shame. Perhaps I should have done the money shots first, but at least I have the ones that are dedicated to the cause or not too sleepy. Yeah, and girls are called Chan, so something Chan. And my name in katakana, kendaru, for Kendall, is really hard for Japanese people to say. And they think I've said kendo, which is a type of martial arts here in Japan. So they call me Kendi, Kenji, Kendi, Kendi, which is a little difficult for me to say in the Japanese way. Kendi, or Kenji is actually, Kenji is my partner's father's name. So they can't call me Kenji because Kendi because it's a bit too close to Kendi. They can't call me Kendi because it's too close to Kenji. So it's a little bit difficult for them. And his mum asked if she can just call me something totally different, like Candy. And I'm like, well, it's not my name, but whatever helps you. Kendo will get great respect, perhaps. It mostly makes them laugh. I teach English here in Japan, and my students have to hear my name all the time, right? So we've come to this section from a totally different angle. If you come on this tour again with me, you'll experience the whole tour in quite a different way. The only thing that will be anything close to the same will be the start 30 minutes. But let me just get safely down this rocky area to get you out of a position that casts that in just a shadow. Excuse me. Lovely kooky tree with little mushrooms growing on it here. Quite big mushrooms. Ah, yes, your name is gender neutral. My name is gender neutral, Kendall. It's very gender neutral. But when people see me, they don't want to call me. I'm hoping they don't want to call me Ken. I don't really fancy that. Because I like being recognized as a lady. So this is a 2-story pagoda. It's very special. I'm going to show you from this angle and tell you a little bit about it. Excuse me. Okay, this is Tahoto, the 2-story pagoda built in 1194 CE with a donation from Minamoto no Yorimoto. It is considered as the oldest and most elegant pagoda in Japan. The Varirokana Dainichi Buddha of the Kakimura period from 1185 to 1333 is enshrined here. Now, we are not allowed to see the enshrined Buddha inside because that is a sacred area, but we could admire the pagoda. First of all, I'm going to show you the look at the Seta River over here, and then we're going to go on to see the loveliest sights of the day. So I hope you're ready. Where did you live before that, Ren? You say America now. That's it. So over here, you can see where we started the tour earlier. In Connecticut with your parents, lovely. Oh, look, it's all coming back round. We can see the people in the kayak as well. The zoom made that a bit blurry, but in a way that made it look a bit like a Japanese painting, so I quite liked that. Cherry blossom season here. I do hope you'll join me for my future tours. And let's go and see the main building. And we're also going to see the Woolers tonight. I'm very excited to show you the Woolers tonight. Very, very excited. So I hope you've all been having a lovely time on the tour. Just about half an hour left. Maybe a little less, maybe perfectly that, but not over, don't worry. And I hope you'll consider following me, consider tipping me, consider reviewing me, or joining the sponsor crew, if you like. My sponsors get lots of different things from me. So physical things and digital things, but also mostly the biggest thing they do is help me keep bringing things like this on Heygo to everybody, which I think they care greatly about. They care about helping everybody, because I know so many on Heygo don't have the means to support what they're viewing, but I know that Heygo brings a lot to everybody. Yeah, I can do a vertical of the pagoda, but just bear with me. I haven't got to the best angle of it. I'm coming up to the best angle. The pagoda is also almost wider than it is tall, so it's a little bit difficult. But bear with me. I'm coming up to some of the best views of it from down below as well. So hang on. Beverly just said okie dokie, and I must tell you that my students in Japan, the younger ones, they're always giggling because I say okie dokie, let's get started, and they start saying okie dokie. I've got students of all ages, but the children, they copy my okie dokie. Right, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be a bit wide for it, I think. Let me see. Almost a bit too wide. 3, 2, 1. But we're going to get the best view from other angles, so do bear with me. But what do you think? It is very, very elegant, isn't it? And it looks even wider at its base because of the fact that it's only got 2 stories. But it's just outstanding, isn't it? We're up on a very tall hill. I've done my huffing and puffing for now. I'll get you to a different angle so the light isn't shining on it strangely. Hello, Joyce. Welcome. I found where the people are. The people are down at the best bit. So we'll go see them in a second. As in the tourists of the day. Just a few of them. It's lovely, isn't it? Now, the best view is down at the bottom of the steps. So let's have a look. Let's go down this way. And I'm going to paint a couple of pictures figuratively for you, as well as show you a beautiful picture of cherry blossoms and wollastonite and more. So well done, you guys. This is your reward. If you've stuck with me for this whole tour, then your rewards are coming. They're just desserts. This is the incredible wollastonite from above. This is a national monument here. This temple precinct is erected on the large wollastonite. It's designated as a rare natural monument of Japan. The very name of this temple is derived from this sacred stone, and you will be astonished at the dynamicism of this natural creation. Mariette says the roof is like a square mushroom. Not incorrect. No, it is a little bit like a square mushroom. Get another view in a second. 3, 2, 1. Just going to sort out. Oh, there we go. Sort out the gimbal. 2 a.m. in the UK. Well done, Lily. Are you still there? Have you descended into silent sleepiness? I wonder. Hi, Nancy. It's quite something, isn't it? It looks like it's just launching out of the ground, if you ask me. Oh, no, now me too, Jenny. She says, now I have the Mario theme in my head. The sun is a bit bright in the wrong places, so it's a bit difficult to get you a clear shot of this. But I'll get you another one from below. This is something I want to point out to you. If you follow me on Instagram or anything, I'm at MissKendalJames. So you can go on linktr.ee/MissKendalJames to catch me. And you can see this in some of my videos and pictures. Over just here, the moon perfectly shines full and bright here so often. So you can really come for a moon viewing experience so many times when you come to this area. It's really something. It feels delicate, romantic, perfect, and worth it. It feels good to see the moon just so. So many lovely birdies. And we're going to go along to the main hall in a second. I'm very exciting. Sorry, that's Japanese English. I'm very excited. Japanese English actually says, I'm fun, I'm exciting, because they get it wrong a little bit. So sorry, I'm excited to show you the main building. And Nicola says, yeah, it is so lovely there, but definitely not disabled friendly. I'm so sorry, lovely. It's absolutely true. You're right. So I'll do the legwork for you here this time, but it is a shame, isn't it? Here we have an important cultural property building, the Ishiyama Temple Bell Tower. And this here is a raised relief, or kind of relief engraved area. So actually I like rubbing that into my sketchbook. I've got my sketchbook with me. Could be tempted to show you guys that if you desired me doing that right now. I can show you. If you're not bothered, don't worry. This is the Ishiyama Temple Bell Tower. Would you like to see that, Nancy? I have to sort of put the gimbal down to be able to do that. Is Lily here? Lily still with us? No? Yeah? Let me see if I can get a good angle just here. I think I can do it quite quickly. Right. Let me see if you can see me if I go there. Okay. I'm going to put the mic down a second. I'm just going to get a little rubbing And I'm going to show you. This is something I do to collect memories around Japan or anywhere. I once went to Kendal in the UK, and you bet I rubbed everything because it had my name in it. So I gave it a good old rub. It's blue, so I'm going to go with blue. Got my sketchbook. Excuse me. So some people say, I can't draw, but I want to collect memories. I want to draw pictures. And I say, it's okay. You can rub. Can you rub? Bear with me 1 minute. I'll get you in a better direction in just a second. Yeah, if you can't draw, you can rub. But only rub with clear permission or with knowing that it's okay. Oh, I forgot to show you with it. 1 second. I forgot to show you close up. Here we go. Ta-da! And I'm preparing this for travels on the big day. There's a few other things in my sketchbook. And around Japan, you can also collect stamps and things too. And sometimes I just do really quick little doodles. Some things get finished, some things don't get finished. This is my new sketchbook from the middle of February. But there are lots of good things around Japan to just collect in a book, so you don't always have to do drawings, or sometimes you can do drawings. Up to you. Up to you. All right, stick with me. Whoop, up we go. Let me see. Is everybody okay? I think. Okay, lovely. Hi, Ai-cha, nice to see you. Does that mean love tea? Cha for tea and I for love. Ai-cha. I like that. Okay, we'll walk past and up close to the woods tonight. Lovely. Hi in Morocco, nice to see you. Hi Julie, nice to see you too. So on the side of the rock here, because it's sacred, you can see lots of coins. The little boy was saying, it's here now. He's saying, there's 1 yen, there's 1 yen. There's going. There's a 5 yen, there's a 1 yen. So because it's sacred, this is one way that you can make an offering. You don't just have to put a load of sake all over it. You can make your offerings in this way too, which is quite lovely, I think. And they look very sweet all lined up in this way. Amazing. The rock protects them from getting knocked off all over the place, which is pretty nice. So this is where all of the spots that you'll come to as you're a tourist really are. So well done, guys, for sticking it out to for this part of the tour as well. This is the bit that would have kept most all the way, but it's nice to see I've had about 70 people throughout, so thank you so much. You guys rock, and we've yet to see the main building, so oh my goodness, sorry, that was no pun intended. You guys rock. I would say you guys stone if I was being correct around here. let's just start again. Hello. Who am I? How did I get like this? Somebody help me. Oh my goodness. Now, inside of lots of these buildings, there are statues of Buddha, so it's sacred inside. So we don't look directly inside them, and a lot of them say, "Don't take pictures and don't look inside." Exactly. Don't look inside. Yeah, Ken just said, "Good time for me to return." while I'm apparently stoned, hanging out here, hanging out. Now we've got a nice shot through here. We've got blossoms, Wollastonite, and that two-story pagoda, Tahoto, and lanterns. Hello, beautiful. Now I'm dashing around a lot today. I'm off to Kyoto later, and then tonight I will be going to work. Do hit the notifications on my surprise tour listing. I'm going to release a surprise tour for my tomorrow evening. So if you're in the UK, that could suit you just fine. It'll be about 9:30 p.m. in the UK. 9:30 a.m. in the UK. Maybe 10:30. I don't get that word Wallace tonight. That's creepy in itself, Ken. It's a little reference to some of the other tours recently. There was some quite disturbing things happening from myself. What are the rocks? Oh, did you miss? It's the Wollastonite rocks. Now, here we are coming up to Ishiyama Dera Temple, the main building. This is the Hondo main building. And I'm going to take you to have a little look at Lady Murasaki Shikibu in there in a moment. And it's the room that she is said to have looked out upon at the harvest moon. What's Wallace? I don't think I understand Wallace, sorry. We're not allowed inside this building, but I can walk up to it. And I am going to take the time while I'm up there to tell you a little bit more about the tale of Genji so that you feel nice and equipped with that. And you can hear people ringing a bell inside as well. Oh, nice. Beverly says she learned about the Buddhist colors from Kiara last night. That's lovely. Wollastonite. Yeah, let me give you. Here you go. Maybe that helps you. Wollastonite. And there's the Tahoto. Multicolored banners have lots of different meanings, but I have not cemented that in my memory, unfortunately. But here we can see the oldest wooden structure of Shiga. It was repeatedly reconstructed during the Heian period of 794 to 1185. In the later period, through the donation of Yodo Dona, a concubine of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the Hondo was renovated. There also remains a famous place called the Genji no Ma, where Murasaki Shikibu authored the great novel Genji no Monogatari, just through here. So you can imagine how just as she was. And if we look out where she's looking, you can imagine less trees in the way and the moon shining just through them. But this site is very old. There are all kinds of different buildings around here, but the site itself is 1,300 years old, and there, of course, would have been much more rudimentary buildings around that time. We're in spring, just after winter, so usually through this area I'm about to walk through, it's very, very luscious. But right now it looks like it's still got evidence of winter still leaving. Now, I can't take you in here because it's not appropriate and they ask for no filming. You can see a hint of the big lantern inside. And I think if lanterns are a judge of how important you are, then you can see this building is quite special. And here we have the Enma boards. We've got new ones for the year of the rabbit. But we've also got the ones for this very temple, which have the Lady Murasaki on them. Now, I don't know why she isn't in her ceremonial purple, as that's what her name means. Murasaki is purple in Japanese. And this site that we're looking at just here looks quite different in all of the different seasons, but this is the most wintry I've personally seen it. It's covered in reds and yellows and green throughout autumn, and it will be lush green, a bit like a rainforest if you come and see it in a few months' time. Oh, excellent. I'm going to read that. Thank you very much. I'm going to read some of that for everybody. If it lets me. Beverly says the colours of the flag's 6 vertical bands represent the 6 colours of the aura, which Buddhists believe emanate from the body of Buddha emanated from the body of Buddha when he attained enlightenment. Blue for the spirit of universal, yellow for compassion, the way in red, the blessings of practice and achievement in that red, and white, purity leading to liberation, orange for timelessness. The wisdom of the Buddha's teachings, the 6 vertical bands on the fly, is made up of a combination of the 5 other colours, rectangular bands, and represents a compound of said colours in the aura's spectrum. This new compound colour is referred to as the truth of the Buddha's teaching, or the Pabhasara, literally the essence of light. Thank you very much, Beverly. You have added to my tour greatly. Thank you. You've all added to my tour greatly, so I thank you all very, very much. Now I'm going to switch to my own notes for a second and adorn you with tales of one Genji. So far you've had me a little bit from the leaflet, otherwise from my memory, and now we can hear. So, the tale of Genji was created in the 11th century. I'm trying not to be too. Anna's asked if I can show the red lantern again. I'm going to show it just from here, but I can't go in further because it's disrespectful. So I won't be going in further than that. So that's the best I can do for you, okay? I don't want to be disrespectful. It says no filming inside there. I hope that was satisfactory, Anna. And I do really love this rooftop area just over here. Quite beautiful. Thank you very much. So it was created in the 11th century by an aristocratic woman called Lady Murasaki Shikibu. The original manuscript was created on a concertina of paper, which is called an orihan, and may be known to some of you guys as an accordion. By the way, up here we have some real ceremonial purple because we have the crest of the family of this area. The sheets of paper are folded alternatively in one direction, allowing a scroll-like effect when opened. In the late 19th century, 1882, Sumatsu Kencho attempted the first translation in English. However, not only was this incomplete, but it was also of poor quality. In the early 20th century, it was translated into modern Japanese by Akiko Yosano. Her desire to do so was probably an extension of her social reformist and feminist activism. Both herself and Lady Murasaki were both women and interested in social expectations and responsibilities. Yosano Akiko was well ahead of her time and even gained financial independence through the publication of a famous all-women literary magazine called Seito. She cited, "If a woman depends on her man's finances for marriage and childbirth, even if there is a romantic relationship between them, then the woman is economically dependent on him and thus becomes the man's slave, or otherwise she is a thief who preys on the fruits of a man's labor." Her viewpoint that women may as well live off the state if they were to live off a man was opposed to by others who sometimes claimed that women cannot realistically live without financial assistance. This is something that is often echoed in today's society with the gender pay gap and other expectations of women. Especially here in Japan. There's quite traditional views here in Japan that are it's why there's such a declining birth rate at the moment, and it's happening in lots of countries around the world, even the likes of things like Italy, because there are just expectations that a woman's role is to have the child and grow the child, and it is not her responsibility at all to have a job and to gain her own independence. In parallel to her considerations, but with a focus on men rather than women, Murasaki Shikibu also wrote of her excuse me. Sorry, my microphone doesn't have an off button, so excuse that. Thank you, Joanne, and thank you, Cheryl. Shikibu also wrote of her observations in daily life. Hers was a unique look at the lifestyles of courtiers during the Heian period, which is famed for its standing in poetic artistry and regal attire, fostered in a nationwide admiration for the throne. The life of Genji, once the son of an ancient Japanese emperor, is depicted in this book. His mother was a low-ranking concubine, and his life changed dramatically from a young age as he himself was removed from the lines of succession. He was demoted to commander and given the name Minamoto, by which he lived the life of an imperial officer. Excuse my voice giving way. In Genji Monogatari, we learn of his life, his romantic life set in scenes of an aristocratic society at that time. It is known as the world's first complete novel, the first as a psychological assessment, and especially in Japan, the first that can be known as a classic. So I thank you very much for coming with me here today to experience the location in which that was written, and for listening to my tales of Japan and culture and language and my experiences of living in Shiga a little bit as well. I hope you find yourself satisfied with your care and that you feel a little bit more wizened upon walking around these wonderful temple grounds. I do hope that you'll come back with me through different seasons, so do consider hitting the notification bell on this particular tour. I'm guessing I won't be back here for a while, but I could be tempted back in May to see the wisteria at a few different points. Thank you so much, Sue. Sue says, so enjoyable and interesting. Thank you. And it looks like I have beat the crowds because, as you can see, they have just arrived. So if I take any pictures from here on out, they're going to have a messy bunch of people in them. However, everybody seems to be wearing a pink ribbon, so I do wonder if they're here for some kind of... They might well be here for some kind of breast cancer celebration and money-raising scheme, which is pretty good. In Japan, they do use the pink ribbon to represent breast cancer and to support that. However, in Japan, they are not actually as clued up about giving to charity as many other nations that I know. Thank you so much, Anna, for your tip. Hi, Dr. Benita. I'm afraid you are late. So you won't be able to experience the tour in the same way. Nicola, thank you so much for your tip. And I hope that you guys consider leaving me reviews because I would love to read them. But thank you so much, everyone. It's been really lovely. If you are in America or Canada or maybe Asia or the Pacific, please consider joining me on my next tour. I'll be heading over to Kyoto. I've got my hiking boots on today and I'm going to walk you through Tetsugaku no Michi, which is a philosopher's path. And it'll be a fun tour, looking at all of the sites, checking out all of the little shops and enjoying so many cherry blossoms that you'll just be so grateful to be alive in this fleeting world that we live in, which is exactly what cherry blossoms represent. So thank you, and I hope to see you again soon. In over 2 hours. How long do I have? Got to see how long I've got. Lauren says we'll have to watch the next ones on YouTube. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Nicola says, I love your tours. You guys have been wonderful, and thank you all so much for sticking with me for so long. You were wonderful. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, Ken. I've got 2 hours and 25 minutes to get to the other end of Kyoto. I can do it. See you.